But then this little girl like pops her head up and is like, oh, Mickey. I'm like, oh. Hey everyone, Dana and Leslie back for another Disney dining review.
All right, so today we're headed to Hollywood Studios to go to Hollywood and Vine for Minnie's seasonal dine.
Yes.
So we get to see some of the classic characters dressed up in their seasonal attire. I'm pretty sure it'll probably still be Christmas. At some point they transition over to spring. I don't know when that is. But it's only January, so...
It's the 10th of January. They still had Christmas at Disney Springs a few days ago, so I think you're probably right, but it's got to be soon. Like, it's got to be, like, right now. Like, they may be taking stuff down.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm excited about this. I'm cautiously optimistic. So pre-COVID, I hated this buffet. It was awful. We tried it several times. Not a fan. Post-COVID, they opened back up for family style for Hollywood and Vine, and it was actually quite lovely.
It was really good, but it was very slow.
The service was slow, but it was also, I think everybody there, well, I mean, it was everything was messed up. But it was great food. And so now we're back to buffet, so it's like back to normal, which hopefully not, because it was not a good buffet earlier, but the menu actually looks pretty good. So I am cautiously optimistic that this is gonna be good.
There are lots of plant-based options on this menu, which I'm super excited about. There's like a mushroom risotto, there are a couple of salad options that look really tasty. There's just all kinds of, they mentioned on the menu that's listed like 4 or 5 different plant-based options. And then they also have like chicken and pork and
lots of meat.
Yeah, lots of different meat options. They had some like caramelized Brussels sprouts, which I'm really excited about. I really am a fan of Brussels sprouts. Anyway, the menu sounds good. I'm kind of excited.
It sounds very good. I hope it is. Like, I mean,
it is.
And that's tough, man, because like you can put all this wonderful sounding stuff on the menu, but unless it's executed well, and buffets are just hard. It's just hard to do. I'm expecting good things at $59 a person. It better be pretty tasty. Yeah. So it's not the cheapest buffet in the world. We'll see. We had a great buffet experience over at Beer Garden, but it didn't have characters, so it wasn't as expensive. So, we'll see. We'll see. Hollywood Studios is really in need of some good food.
We're excited. I'm hungry, and I'm ready. Let's do it.
We're about to be late, so
let's
go. What?
I said per usual.
Oh, yeah. We actually, side note, this doesn't have anything to do with Hollywood and Vine, but we were meeting some people at CityWorks the other day, and we were on time.
For like the first time ever.
First time since we moved here, for sure. Like, we used to be on time all the time in Oklahoma, and
I don't know what happened.
That stopped. So, okay.
All right, let's go.
Hollywood and Vine. Let's go.
Moderately impressed. Everything has been pretty good. There's been a couple of things that I would probably skip if I went back up there. The peel and eat shrimp was delicious, and the salmon was actually, it was like somewhere between Tusker House, which was dry and chalky and awful, and Beer Garden, which was fantastic and like wonderfully done. So it's somewhere in between there. Like it's not like the best salmon I've ever had, but it's also like pretty decent. I was impressed. I liked the Brussels sprouts and the meatballs, and I didn't love, there was like one pork pork dish that I wasn't a fan of, but the mushroom risotto is really good.
All right, so it is quite crowded and quite loud in here. It's kind of like an echo chamber, plus they're playing music, plus the characters, plus people leaving, coming, getting set. So the ambiance is quite hectic. Plus it's an open kitchen back there filling the buffet. So there's that. But the food has actually been surprisingly pretty good. I've tried about half the things on the buffet, and they've all been at least edible. I haven't had anything that was bad. And the peel and shrimp was very, very tasty. The chicken was very, very good. I tried one of the 2 carving stations, which was the pork belly. It was fantastic with the sauce that goes on that. It's kind of like a sweet sauce on there. Risotto good. The vegetables have been all very good. So I'm actually pretty impressed.
Your top hat is adorable. Perfect. Thank you, Pluto. The desserts were kind of your typical like little small bites of things. There were a couple that were pretty decent, several that were just like okay, nothing like mind-blowing that I felt like Dan and I fought over and I need to go back and get more of or anything. So it was just kind of like a sweet topping of the day, but I'd say overall like I'm excited to share all my thoughts at home on the food and how things have changed and what it's like.
Pluto back there. All right, so I love the characters they have here. It's a bit loud in the restaurant and it's a bit hectic. We're kind of crammed in here at this 2-top, but we could have waited for a 4-top, so that's not a big deal. I'll say second pass through the buffet, some of my favorites were the meatballs were fantastic, and the roast was actually really good. The strip loin at the second carving station was not good at all. Very, very chewy. That was the one thing up there, honestly, that was bad. Like everything else was decent or better, maybe even good or better. I'm actually pretty impressed. All in all, I mean, as far as a character in park buffet goes, this is definitely not at the bottom anymore. So I think we're gonna finish this up at home. But yeah, pretty good.
All right, we are back. We had a pretty good experience, I would say, overall.
But first, if you need help planning your next magical vacation, please reach out to us at fantasticalvacations.com. We plan Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and all-inclusive resorts.
Thea would love to help you plan your next magical vacation.
She would be fantastic at it.
Isn't that right, baby?
Hi, princess.
Should we just jump in?
Yeah, so we did not get drinks today. Honestly, the drink menu looked decent. They had like a Long Island iced tea. They had a margarita that looked pretty good, a Mai Tai, but I can't really speak to the quality of them because we chose not to get any. However, we did decide that we needed to split ambiance and theming.
So they were the same types of drinks that you get at all these character restaurants, buffets, and I am pretty sure it's going to be the same quality that we have gotten before. So I think it's very important to split ambiance and theming because they are 2 very different things here and with very different ratings. And I also think it's kind of unfair to keep throwing these drinks on these buffets where they're kind of more of an afterthought. They don't charge more of an afterthought prices for them though. I mean, they're like $15 drinks.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
So I think it's better, we just got water. And I think that's probably what we're gonna do at buffet, for character buffets like this in the future.
Ambiance is meh. I mean, it's loud, it's crowded. We mentioned this on the video. I even, I went to the restroom and whenever you walk into Hollywood and Vine, there's a right side of the restaurant and a left side. We were seated on the left side. Whenever I went to the restroom, that's on the right side, and it was much more pleasant over there. It was like more spread out, and so I think it might depend a little bit where you're sat, but the area we were in, it was just very cramped. We could very easily hear people around us, their conversations, and
at one point, so I was in a banquette, you were in a chair at a 2-top, and we were right by a pole, and so we would see the characters coming, and they would pop around the pole. They missed the people in the corner several times, so that stinks for them. But then this little girl like pops her head up and is like, "Oh, Mickey!" I'm like, "Oh." I didn't do that.
He did not do that.
I just think the loudness of the restaurant, the feel, it's just hard goods everywhere, so nothing is absorbing any sound anywhere.
Yeah.
Then they pipe in music, and then they pipe in announcements on top of the music, and then they do the normal character thing where they're like clapping and dancing, the characters are, and it's
a lot of
hectic in
stimulation.
there.
Yeah.
It is woo, in there. And there's 2 buffet lines, 2 dessert lines, characters going everywhere, handlers going everywhere. It's just a lot. All that to say, we gave it a 2.5.
Yep. However, theming, one of the things that I love about this restaurant is that there's a lot of variety. So you have, for breakfast, you have the Disney Junior characters. This is the only place you can actually dine with Disney Junior characters. And then for lunch and dinner, it's Minnie's seasonal dine, which means that it changes throughout the year. So right now, I initially thought that they were in their like New Year's outfits, but it was the silver screen dine. So like they were going to like a movie debut, and they were all fancy and cute. Like Pluto had a little top hat, and Minnie's dress was
Ironically,
all
Goofy
sparkly.
did not have a top hat.
He did not have a top hat.
So it's Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto. So we love those characters.
Yeah, so we gave theming a 4.
The characters brought that way up. So
Yes.
the fact that the characters change during the day, and the fact that the characters change during the season, the fact that there even are characters and they are good characters, that definitely elevated the theming particularly.
All right, so service. I know that people have said before, we shouldn't rate service at a buffet because
I don't agree with this.
But here's the thing, like today, I didn't even get my water refilled. Like it was pretty low, and there wasn't even the offer to refill my water. It took pretty significant amount of time to get our check because I guess she got it and then forgot to add the discount that we asked for. So
it took a decent amount of time for her to even show up to the table. Like,
yeah.
We had already met a character. If I'm gonna tip someone at a restaurant, I'm gonna rate them on service. Like, because why am I tipping them? I wouldn't try to not tip somebody at a buffet. We had 3 plates on top of each other at one point.
Refilled waters, and we were at a 2-top, so I mean it was really crowded and cramped to even have like extra plates on the table. So yeah, I mean it definitely lowers the experience a little bit. We did go ahead and give her just an straight average score of 3.
She wasn't horrible.
She wasn't horrible,
but she wasn't great either. Food. I enjoyed the food a lot more than I have in the past. It kind of met my expectation today. I was cautiously optimistic, and I think we got there.
Yeah.
There was only one thing that I didn't like on the buffet. Unfortunately, it was probably one of their should have been a better item. It was one of the 2 carving stations. It was the strip loin, which is like the steak option. Like I think you should do that well, but I took 1 bite and I couldn't do any more.
That's all it did,
It was
too.
chewy, it was stringy, not good. But the rest of it was actually really good. Good or great, I would even say. So the great stuff, the meatballs, the pot roast, the peel and eat shrimp, those were very, very good.
And really, quite honestly, the plant-based options were fantastic. The couscous salad, the kale with like apples and cranberries, that salad was good. The mushroom risotto was delicious. Like they
the tofu needed to be crispier, but that was just the sauce that had I think it just set out a few extra minutes.
Yeah, made it soggy. But no. So I was pleased. Desserts were just like they were okay. But I think by the time you're like filled up with all of the other stuff, like does it really matter if you get dessert at a buffet? Probably not.
Yeah, so you got us like a plate to share of desserts just to try a little bit of everything. And I think the things that I liked best was the little mini cheesecakes. Those were good.
Yeah, the creme brulee cheesecake was delicious.
That was great. And then the carrot cake cupcake was pretty good.
I did never see you try that, but that one was really good.
Now, the things that they seem to be more prominent, like the things that they're more proud of, the big items like that are front and center is like there was like a dirt cake, which I think they call the
Mississippi mud pie.
Mud cake, something like that. It was whatever. I mean, it was just like
chocolate.
Yeah. You got the bread pudding, but you didn't get any of the sauce, and I went back and got a little bit more.
Where was the sauce?
On top. So I think I got a fresher batch, and like only half of it was gone, and the sauce was on top, and so it was pre-sauced, I guess. And so I got some of that. It was actually much better when it was warm with the sauce on there. I put like ice cream on half of it to see if that was any better, and honestly, the ice cream was not good. I mean, it was just a standard ice cream, like vanilla, chocolate twist. You can get one of the 3, and it was that type of ice cream that's more like ice than cream.
I like the frozen. Yeah, I like it. pre-COVID, they had a
Chocolate
fountain. That was fun.
So all that being said, we gave it a 3.5, which all of those added together is 13 divided by 4, so that's a 3.25. And I think that's right. I think it's slightly above average. There's nothing to write home about. I definitely wouldn't go here expecting some sort of fancy, just fantastic meal. I think if you want to meet characters, you don't want to wait in line for them, you don't mind paying the $59, I think it's a good value if you're going for the characters with a secondary option of getting something good to eat, not great.
Yeah, I agree. So if you're liking these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.
And we will see you on the next video.